enter. So this is the problem here. So this frictional force is responsible for torque. So let him enter first. So we are going to next slide. Now the description, whatever is there, I have described. Whatever it is there, I have described. Okay. Now go to the design part. Now the figure is shortened here. So in this club couplings, slip occurs often and not much wear takes place. So if slip occurs, there is not much wear. Now why this is very important? This is very important in the sense we will discuss two model of friction, that is, one is uniform pressure model and another one is uniform wear model, and we will discuss this when we will discuss the clutch. We are not discussing in detail here. Now only thing is you consider here uniform pressure. Why we are considering uniform pressure? When the wear is not much. When wear is not much, we consider uniform pressure model. When wear is very high, then we consider uniform wear model, and that uniform wear model, both the models we will discuss. So you consider here the pressure is uniform. The pressure is uniform means the pressure between the two frictional surfaces. There are two pairs of frictional surfaces. The pressure between these is uniform. So axial force Fa is given by P being the uniform pressure. So if P is the uniform pressure and D2 and D1 are the two diameters, then Fa, that is the axial force, that will be equal to F by 4 D2 square minus D1 square multiplied by P. Now tangential force for two pairs of friction surface. You are convinced that there are two pairs of friction surfaces. So the transmission, the frictional force, that is the tangential force Ft is twice of mu Fa. So this is the frictional force, and this is equal to twice mu pi by 4 d2 square minus d1 square into small p. So that is equal to mu pi by 2 d2 square minus d1 square small p. Now the mean radius at which the tangential force acts, the mean radius is this, that is d2 plus d1 divided by 2 into 2, that is the mean radius. So mean radius is d2 plus d1 by 4. So the frictional torsion moment transmitted by the coupling is obviously this thing, that means Ft multiplied by Rm. So Ft is already found out, so you multiply this by Rm and you will get an expression, and that
স্যার
expression
নিচের লেখাটা একটু উপরে ওঠান তাহলে।
নিচের লেখাটা এখন উপরে তোলা যাবে না, তুমি
স্যার
you just see that there is mt, that mt is equal to Ft multiplied by Rm, and expression of Ft is already you just see on the second equation, that is the expression of Ft, and there is an expression of Rm, and you multiply it Ft by Rm, then there is the expression for mt. So that mt is the frictional torsion moment transmitted by the coupling. Okay, is it okay? Can I go to the next slide? Anyone respond?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the expression for mt. So the torsion moment mt can be equated to the torsional moment to be transmitted. Okay. Now bearing pressure P should be as low as possible to increase the life of the coupling. Okay. the desirable value for the bearing pressure is the bearing pressure, that is the pressure which is being applied, so there is some frictional material, so there is a life of frictional material. If the frictional material fails, that is the softer material, if the frictional material fails, then the bearing will fail. So that is why the P should be as low as possible. The ratio of diameter, these are the empirical relations. Ratio of diameter D2 to D1, that is equal to 1.6. The number of springs, that means there will be some number of bolts, and the number of springs is equal to the number of bolts. That means spring is there being compressed by the tightening force of the bolt. So the number of bolt means number of springs. So number of springs ranges from 6 to 16 for a shaft diameter of 55 millimeter to 160 millimeter. So these are the empirical relations. Then the axial load, that is the tensile load coming on all the bolts, can be calculated from the relation of the axial force Fa. Now, so we can design the bolt, and for design the bolt there is a table. These table are available in the book. That means we will consult how we will consult the table when we will solve one problem. I will show you how the tables are consulted. So this is all for the so far I like to discuss on the coupling. Now let us go for a problem, and that problem, two problems I will show you, but that problems are handwritten, and that problems are handwritten, and I will just demonstrate you. One will be on flexible coupling, boost pin type of flexible coupling, and another will be on slip coupling. Now this note will be given to you. So there is a boost pin type of flexible coupling transmitting torque from a motor shaft to a pump shaft. Torque is 180 Newton meter, speed is 1200 rpm, diameter of motor and pump shafts are 50 millimeter. Both the diameters are same, they may be different also. If the bearing pressure on the rubber bush as 0.35 Newton per millimeter square, and allowable shear stress of the material of the pin is 25 Newton per millimeter square. Design the coupling. I have done it very swiftly, so there may be some mistakes. You will correct it. Now the solution. So MT is 180 Newton meter. Number of pin Z, this is the expression for empirical expression for number of pin, that is equal to Z equal to D by 25 plus 3, and we are getting it 5, but the number should be even number, not odd number. So it is adopt the number of pin as 6. So don't reduce it, but always you take the higher side. So empirical relation for pin dia. So first of all find out by empirical relation, then check it against stresses. And the pin dia D0 is 0.5 D by root Z, and that is 10 point something millimeter. Now since the diameter is since this diameter is threaded, that means for boost pin type of flexible coupling you have you can remember that there are two ends. One is lower diameter end and another one is higher diameter end. So here this D0 is for the lower diameter end. So and this is threaded. So it is calculated as 10.2, and we can adopt a higher value, say it is 15 millimeter. From bearing pressure, that means
স্যার আরেকবার বলুন কি বল
that means this diameter of the pin is for the threaded part. This D0 is for the threaded part. So threaded part is more vulnerable for failure. Okay. So we have calculated it as 10 point something, but considering that this is threaded part, we adopt it as 15 millimeter. So this is the small diameter end. Can you remember this figure? I will show you the figure. The figure is like this. Sorry. The figure is like this. That means this thing. You show this, see this figure. This is the smaller diameter end of the bolt, that is D0. So this D0 is found out now. Then we have to find out DP. So we are considering first D0, and this D0 is found out. Okay, is it clear? So D0 is
Okay.
found out as 10.2. Then we adopt D0 as 15 millimeter. Now for bearing pressure. For bearing pressure of the bush, that diameter should be higher, and let us take dp is equal to 25 millimeter. So thickness of rubber bush available in the market, that is 7.5 millimeter. Now the rubber bush, outer diameter of the rubber bush, that is d1. That is d1 is equal to dp. dp is adopted as 25 millimeter. dp plus 2 into thickness of the metal ring, and that is 1.5 meter, 2 into 1.5 meter, then 2 into 7.5 millimeter, that is rubber bush diameter. So D1 is 43 millimeter. So projected area for the bearing, that is D1 into multiplied by L, and P is 0.35 millimeter, 35 Newton per millimeter square, that is given. So force acting on each pin F is equal to P D1L. This is the equation for calculating the bearing pressure. So we have calculated the bearing pressure, that is F is equal to P multiplied by D1 into L. Now this is the equation of F, that is MT by Z into R, where R is the pitch circle diameter. So R is PCD by 2, and PCD is 3D. That is the empirical relation. PCD is 3D. So from this we can find out F, that is 400 Newton. So from this, so F is now known. F is equal to P D1L, and from that we can find out the L, length of bush. So length of bush is found out, that is 26.57, and let us adopt is at 28 millimeter. Now the design of pin. So pin has two end, one is threaded end. So and that threaded end is designed against shear stress. So Fs equal to F divided by neck area, that is pi by 4, 15 square. 15 we have we have found out. So Fs is equal to 2.26 Newton per millimeter square. And let the clearance is equal to C equal to 5 millimeter. So this is L1. This L1 we are finding out for finding the bending moment. Now you just remember this figure. So there is bending moment. You remember this figure. There is bending moment. Can you see this figure? So there is bending moment. So A multiplied by L1. This L1 we like to find out. So L1 is equal to L minus C by 2 plus C, that is equal to 16.5 millimeter. So induced bending stress FB is equal to F L1, that is the bending moment, divided by pi by 32 D0 cube, and from that FB is found out, 19.91 millimeter Newton per millimeter square. So we have to check against principal stress. When giving the lecture, I will just mention that we have to check it against principal stresses. So principal bending stress is this, that is half FB plus root over FB square plus 4 FS square, and then you find out 20.16 Newton per millimeter square, and here it was given 25, not 40. So it is less than 25 Newton per millimeter square. It is wrongly written 40. So it is less than 25 Newton per millimeter square. And principal shear stress, that is equal to half FB square plus 4FS square, that is equal to 10.02 Newton per millimeter square, and that is also less than given allowable stress. So the pin is safe against the load. Now key design, there will be square key, that is d by 4 d by 4. Length of boss is 1.5 d, that you can find out. Now induced shear stress in key, so you have to check the key against shear stress. So you have already learned how to design the key when you have learned the design of shaft. So key design, that means we have to check it against shear stress and crushing stress, and both these stresses you will see that both these stresses are lower than the allowable stresses, so they are safe. So the key design is complete. Then diameter of hub is 2d. Diameter of RHS flange, that is also from the empirical relation, that is
Sir.
1 by 2. হ্যালো
একটু কি ডিজাইনটা একবার বলবেন?
হ্যাঁ কোনটা?
কি
key design, that means this is the dimension of key, that is considering square key, it is d by 4 d by 4. Okay, 12.5 by 12.5. Length of boss, that is for the empirical relation, length of boss means length of key. Okay, so that is 75 millimeter on both sides. So induced shear stress in key, that is equal to mk by v by 2 into w into l. These expressions are already known to you when you have designed shaft. You have already designed shaft and key in your in the earlier semester, is it?
স্যার স্যাপটা হয়েছিল স্যার।
হ্যাঁ স্যার
shaft যখন হয়েছিল কিও তো হয়েছিল, কি বাদ দিয়ে তো shaft হয় না।
কিটা মনে হয় লাস্টের দিকে, মানে ওই তখন অফ হয়ে গেছিল কিটা,
তখন অফ হয়ে গেছিল। আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, কি এর ব্যাপারটা কেমন? শিয়ার স্ট্রেস। আচ্ছা, কি এর ক্রস সেকশনটা হচ্ছে তোমার একটা রেক্টাঙ্গুলার বা স্কোয়ার ক্রস সেকশন, বুঝতে পারছো? একটা স্কোয়ার ক্রস সেকশন কি, ধরো এটা হচ্ছে স্কোয়ার ক্রস সেকশন, সাপোজ এটা স্কোয়ার ক্রস সেকশন, এর একটা হাফ থাকে হাবের সঙ্গে আর একটা হাফ থাকবে শ্যাফটের সঙ্গে। দেন when shear will occur, let us take a thicker one, say this is the key, a square type of key. Then when shear will occur, then this area will be sheared, this area, so there will be shearing. Okay, there will be shearing, that means one area will be generated when it will fail. So area against shearing is d by 2 multiplied by w into l. Okay, w into l means w is already 12.5 we have found out, and l is length of the key, and this is diameter d by 2, that is 50 by 2 is above. So this is the induced shear stress in the key, 7.68 Newton per millimeter square. Now when shaft is rotated, then there is a compressive force in this manner, on the key. So this compressive force means there will be a crushing on the key, and the crushing area is d by 2 into l into t by 2. Okay, l into t by 2, that is why t by 2, that means one half will be above and another half will be in the lower part. So the fc is d by 2 into l into t by 2, so this is equal to 15.36 Newton per millimeter square. So this is again safe. Is it clear now? Hello?
Yes sir.
Okay, then diameter of the hub, that is from empirical relation 2d, so 100 millimeter. So thickness of right hand side flange, this is from the empirical relation, and thickness of LHS flange, that is also from empirical relation L minus C. Now thickness of protecting flange, so this is equal to this thing, that is half into thickness of the LHS flange. So these are from empirical relation. Overall diameter of the flange. Overall diameter of the flange means there is PCD, then there will be a radius of rubber bush, and then there is thickness of the protecting flange, and there must be some clearance for rotating the range. Okay, so there is clearance. So the overall diameter of the flange will be PCD plus D into radius of rubber bush plus 2 into thickness of protecting flange plus 2 into clearance. So all these things added, then we will get the 222 millimeter for this problem, that is the overall diameter of the flange. So the design is okay here. So what you have to complete, you have to complete the all the list of dimensions 1 2 3 4 etc. You make the list of all the dimensions, all the necessary dimensions, then you have to draw the figure. Okay, draw the figure what you have designed. So up to drawing, your design will be complete. So for your exam purpose, you have to do up to the drawing. Okay, is it clear now? Anyone respond?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Then another problem.
সামটার লাস্ট পার্টটা একটু মানে বুঝতে পারলাম না স্যার আমি।
কোনটা
স্যার এই সামটা যেটা স্যার এখন বোঝালেন স্যার লাস্ট পোরশনটা।
Last portion means you have to list all the dimensions. That means in your when you solve the problem, you have to list all the dimensions 1 2 3 4 etc. Whatever dimensions you have found out. Clear? Then you have to draw the figure of shaft coupling design. So you have to draw the figure here. Clear? So then the entire thing is completed. That means you consider the design equations, find out the dimensions, list all the dimensions, then draw the figure. Okay, then design is complete for your exam purpose. Clear?
Okay.
Okay. Then another problem I will show you, that is the slip coupling. You can see the screen, slip coupling. Can you see the screen?
Yes,
So-
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So design a slip coupling for connecting two shafts for the following duties. Power is 20 kilowatt, speed is 850 rpm, shaft diameter 50 millimeter. This is mu. Then allowable stress for bolt material, that is 32 Newton per millimeter square. D2 by D1, that is 1.6. Bearing pressure is 0.69 per Newton per millimeter square. Now first of all, find out MT. So in the form of kilowatt it is given. So 60 multiplied by power divided by 2 pi n. So we are finding out 224.69 Newton meter. Then the axial force, that is Fa. What equation we have just seen, that is pi by 4 d2 square minus d1 square multiplied by small p, and from that it is 0.7351 d square. D square is not known. 0.7351 d square Newton. Now tangential force equal to, since we are considering two pair of frictional surfaces, then it is equal to twice mu Fa. Then ultimately it is 0.22 d1 square n, and this is Rm, that is d2 plus d1 by 2.2 to 2 into 2, and there is a ratio of d2 and d1, so it is 1.6 d1 plus d1, and ultimately it is equal to 0.65 d1. So the equation for mt will be equal to ft into Rm, and this is mt and this is ft into Rm. So we are finding out this equation in the form of d1 cube, and from that we can find out d1, that is 117 millimeter. So this is d1. Now d2 is this. So frictional diameter d2 and d1. So inner diameter of the inner friction diameter is d1 and outer friction diameter is 188 millimeter. Okay, so from that mean radius is equal to this 188 plus 117 divided by 4. Now FA, we have to ultimately design the spring, but since we won't design spring, we have to design the threaded part of the bolt. So FA is this. Ultimately FA will be this. Clear? Then D1 is found out, so ultimately FA is this. Then dia of shaft is this. So number of spring, since dia of shaft is 50, from the empirical relation number of spring is 6. That means number of bolt is 6. So tensile load on each bolt. Tensile load on each bolt, this is the total tensile load multiplied by 6, that is 1677 Newton. And core diameter of the pin, pi by 4 dc square, that is the shear stress. So pi by 4 dc square into sigma t. Sigma t is the allowable value. So from that dc is this 8.168 millimeter. Now from this dc we will consult the table for finding out the pins are designated in this form. M there will be some value multiplied by the pitch. Now what is this value? That we have to find out from the table. Now let us consult the table. The table whatever I have shown you, let us consult that. Now look at this. Look at this. I don't know whether it is clear to you or not. You see, for M3, this is the nominal. M3 means nominal diameter 3. Pitch is 0.5 and minor diameter is 2.39. Stress is 5.03. Okay. So coarse thread and hello, hello, হ্যাঁ তুমি একটু ওয়েট করো, চলায় একটু ওয়েট করো, ক্লাস চলছে এখন আমার, একটু ওয়েট করো। So you see that is minor diameter, these minor diameter you have found out, and that is equal to 8 point something you have found out. So corresponding to these 8.16 you get M10. So M10 and the pitch is 1.5. Can you see it? Can you see the table?
Yes sir, yes.
Yes, sir.
You see we have found out minor diameter 8 point something. So corresponding to that we have to select either coarse thread or fine thread. Okay, and here coarse thread is okay, there is no need of fine thread. Okay, so 8.16, that is the minor diameter which you have found out in the form of DC. So corresponding to that it is M10. Okay, M10 multiplied by 1.5, that is the pitch. So from this we can find out, sorry, so from this we can find out the corresponding to 8.168, it is M10 by 1.5, and you have to write it here, that is coarse thread. It is not written here, you have to write it coarse thread. Diameter half is 2D, that is 2 into 50, 100 millimeter. Outside diameter of coupling, that is D2 plus, and that will come from the geometry, and I have already told you, you consult the geometry, that is diameter of coupling D2, that is the outer diameter of the friction area, then 2 into bolt dia multiplied by 2 plus 2 into clearance. So ultimately it will be equal to 250 millimeter. So you have to finally design the spring. Spring is very important, and the load on the spring is 1006.78 Newton. That you have already found out. So due to this load, you have to find out the compression spring. Okay, and that design is a large design, so it is not incorporated in your class. So you have to just make a statement that depending on the load that is induced, we have to find out the we have to complete the design of compression spring. Is it okay? The problem is clear to you?
Sir, why are we using coarse thread over fine thread?
But fine thread is more costly. Okay, so for finer displacement, why you use fine thread? Because the pitch is lower. So pitch is lower means fine thread, and coarse thread means pitch is higher. For a particular diameter, when pitch is higher, then it is coarse thread, and for that particular diameter, when pitch is lower, then it is fine thread. Pitch is lower means you will get smaller displacement, and it is costly because manufacturing cost is high. So here it is not a sophisticated a machine element, so we can use a coarse thread. If you design a fine thread, then it will be a costlier one. Is it clear?
ঠিক আছে স্যার।
Thank you, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. Now I will start. Just allow me to start. Don't make any argument. That is, we will design the threaded joint. So threaded joint I have just introduced. What is threaded joint? So threaded joint will be started. Just give me, it is 7 minutes past 2. So just give me 10 minutes. I will introduce it. So design of threaded fasteners. Now all of you have seen threaded fastener. All of you have seen. Now you see these are the standard bolt, standard pin. This is coarse thread. You compare these two. I was just discussing what is coarse thread and fine thread. You just see that for coarse thread the pitch is higher, and for fine thread the pitch is lower. Now this is bolt, and the geometry of the bolt is known to you. This is bolt and this is nut. So bolt has external thread and nut has corresponding internal thread. And for bolt and nut there are minor diameter. This is minor diameter. This is the pitch diameter, and this is the major diameter. So there is minor diameter, there is pitch diameter, and there is major diameter. And on this side, this is unthreaded part. This is unthreaded part, and there are two steps of the unthreaded part. So reduced diameter of the body, there is higher diameter of the body, and it may be of two diameters like this, or you may make it one uniform diameter. And then there is washer. This is the washer. Okay. Now in a larger form, so this is pitch. You see helical groups are there. This is pitch. So this is thread angle. So this is minor diameter, this is pitch diameter, and this is major diameter. This one is called root. Okay, this one is called root, and the top part is called crest, and this is helix angle, this is helix angle, and this is right hand thread, square thread, this is right hand thread, and this is left hand thread. Do you know how to differentiate between right hand thread and left hand thread? Do you know it? Can you explain it? If anyone knows it, how we can recognize or identify a right hand thread or left hand thread looking at the bolt or getting a bolt? In this manner, suppose there is a nut and there is a bolt. If you rotate it, you make the nut fixed, and if you rotate the bolt in clockwise direction, and if it goes away from the observer, then away from you, then it is right handed thread. And if you rotate it in the left hand side direction, and if it goes away from you, then obviously it is a left hand thread. Okay, so this way you can recognize two types of threads. Now in a larger form, you see this is the axis, then these are the thread. Now this is the included angle, this is crest, this is root, this is called flank. And corresponding to the root diameter is the minor diameter, and in between there is pitch diameter, and corresponding to the crest it is major diameter. Okay, and you have already, I think you have already done in your drawing class the thread forms. So major diameter, there is effective diameter, there is major diameter, minor diameter, all these things are there, and this is pitch by 2. All these things you have drawn in your class, and there are some dimensions. This is p by 8, this is p by 4, all these things are known to you. Now the designation is major diameter is capital D and small d. Capital D for capital D is for bolt nut, and small d for bolt. So capital D, this capital D is designated for nut, and small d is designated for bolt. For pitch diameter it is D2 and D2. For minor diameter it is D1 and D1 or DC. So these are the designations. Now the nomenclatures are defined in this manner. Threaded joints are used for easy connection and disconnection. There are two machine parts. For easy connection and disconnection we use threaded joint. Now there are continuous helical or spiral groove, okay, formed on the surface and parallel to the axis of a cylinder. So this is screw thread. Now flank is this part is flank. This part is flank. Parts of the surface on either side of the thread, the intersection of which with an axial plane are theoretical straight lines. That means if there is screw thread and taking the axis, passing through the axis, if you pass a cutting plane containing the axis, then this will form the straight line. This will form the straight line on the cutting plane. This is what is described here. Crest, part of the surface of a thread which connects adjacent flanks at the top of the ridge. That means two adjacent flanks are connected by crest. And root is two adjacent flanks connected at the root. This is called root. Part of the surface of a thread which connects adjacent flanks at the bottom of the groove. So at the top of the groove and at the bottom of the groove, this is crest and this is root. Now included angle between the flanks measured on an axial section. This is included angle. This is included angle measured on the axial section. That means the section plane containing the axis of the cylinder. Now apex, sharp corner of the fundamental triangle. Or if it is not truncated in this manner, then there is a sharp corner, that is called apex. depth of thread, distance measured normal to the axis between the crest and the root. That means this distance is the depth from the case to the root. Pitch is clear to you. Now lead is also clear to you. For lead is equal to P multiplied by N. P is pitch and L is lead, N is number of starts. Number of starts means number of threads. How many number of threads are there? So 1 start, 2 start, 3 start, it is stated in this manner. And if N is equal to 1, that means 1 start, L will be equal to P. This thing you know. And this is the figure, that is helix angle alpha and the lead angle lambda. So this is helix angle and this is lead angle. So alpha plus lambda is equal to 90 degree. So, and there is an expression between, and this is lead. This is lead. This distance is lead. So there is an expression between.
হেলিক্স অ্যাঙ্গেলটা ঠিক বুঝলাম না কোন ডিসটেন্সটা
This is helix angle. This angle is helix angle with the axial plane. This angle is the helix angle.
ওকে হ্যাঁ
Okay, and
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা
this is lambda. Okay, this angle is helix angle. This is the lead angle. Okay, so that alpha plus lambda is equal to 90 degree. Clear? And this is lead. From here to here, this distance is lead. So there is a relation between lead and helix angle and this pi d. So we have whatever we have discussed. What is right hand thread? What is left hand thread? What is the major diameter and minor diameter? একটু দাঁড়াও হয়ে গেছে। Major diameter and minor diameter, pitch cylinder, that means the cylinder consisting the cylinder of diameter equal to the pitch diameter. There is pitch line, there is a pitch line and pitch diameter. That means pitch diameter, and whenever you are drawing in the form of straight line, then there is a pitch line. So these things we have designated. Now designation of metric thread is like this: M16 by 1.5. I have already told you how it is designated. M16 by multiply, this is the nominal diameter and this is the pitch. For metric thread, 16 is the major diameter and 1.5 is the pitch. And there is different series, 4 series. There is different series, that means fine, medium and coarse series. And if you write here M, then it is medium. If you write here F, then it is fine. If you write here C, then it is coarse. So this way they are designated: M16 by 1.5, M16 by 1.5F, M16 by 1.5C. So these are the designations, and this is the table. That means this is for coarse series and this is for fine series. These tables are available in the book and you have to consult the table, and for examination purpose these tables will be given in your question paper, and then you can consult the table, and by that you can find out the diameters, etc. Okay, so we are concluding here. The next day tomorrow, is it tomorrow? Okay, there is class tomorrow, but I request you one thing, that there are so many chapters. So since all of you are home, so can you at least one day in the afternoon or in the night, is it possible for you?
Yes, sir.
Any day in the week. So you consult and
স্যার কনসাল্ট করে আপনাকে জানাবো।
you consult and just inform me that any day in the night. Okay, after 7 or after 8 for 1 hour. Clear? Then we will otherwise it won't be possible for completing the course. Clear? So whatever thing discussed for the coupling and the problem, I will send you. Okay. And also the videos are not yet sent, so all the videos whatever it is there, I will send you. So today I complete it here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.